Tonya Hofmann's fabulous. Tonya Hofmann's fabulous. Tonya Hofmann's fabulous, fabulous TV show. Tonya.
Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited that you're back today. We have Miss Alicia White in the house. Woo!
Hi.
I'm going to be amazed with Alicia. And, all of my guests are so fabulous, and they're so much fun. And Alicia is one of the partnering directors for the Public Speakers Association. She runs the Plano chapter, which is over in the Dallas market in Texas. And I'm sure she rides horses and has cows in her backyard. We'll find out all about that. Yeah. So what I wanted to give you is some tips today. For everything that we do is about movement. And I know if you've listened and you've been a guest, obviously, on my show before, you've heard me say over and over again, take action. A lot of times what we think we can't do is just because we have never done it before. So if I had never spoken in front of a little group, the first time I spoke in front of anybody was 5 lovely ladies who all adored me. They all loved me. I was shaking and sweat. It was awful. But I did it. And it moved me to the next time and the next time. And I got better and I got better. But if I had never taken that very first step, I wouldn't be where I am today. And so a lot of, for you that are listening, is that perspective, right? What can you do today that you've never done before? What makes you go, what can I do to move myself out of my office? Maybe it's networking. Maybe you've never been to a networking group before, a chamber of commerce. Maybe you haven't gone to a big conference before, and got to meet people in person. We'll be talking a little bit about the Public Speakers Conference that you can come to, right? Alicia's going to be one of the speakers there. Yay! So that's June 14th through the 17th. So you put it on your calendar. You can get it scheduled, and you're like, well, San Antonio, Texas. I've never even been to Texas yet, right?
Get here.
Right? Exactly. And so that is what it's all about, is movement and doing something that may seem a little scary, but supportive at the same time, right? And that's why you want to be around me. That's why you want to be around Alicia, because we are here to help you. And Alicia is filled with so much knowledge. I'm constantly contacting her going, hey, I need help, right? Because she's got that ability, and that's what it's about, is finding people who have abilities that you don't have. Right? When I needed a logo for the Public Speakers Association, she did my logo for me. I was like, hey, I got kind of an idea, but I don't know what to do. So she made this fantastic logo for us. So it's about reaching out and asking people for help with their expertise. So Alicia, I'm so excited that you're here with us today. I've been looking forward to this. So tell me a little bit about you and what you've been up to and all that kind of fun stuff.
Oh my goodness, Tonya. Things are just happening over here. And like you said, it took movement. It took moving forward. And I have to share this with you. When you and I met, you said join the PSA, and I thought, okay, I don't know this lady, but something tells me I need to join the PSA. And I told you, well, I will, but I'm just a graphic designer, and I can help speakers and I can help business experts with their promotional materials as a speaker. And you said, oh, no. You're a speaker. And went, oh, yeah, we'll see. Well, guess who's been speaking around the United States? Me.
Exactly.
And I love it because I'll never forget. I'll share this story. It's pretty quick. My very first real speaking opportunity was at a PSA chapter in Virginia Beach. And I'll never forget, it was the first time I was going to give a 45-minute speech. I was the keynote. I'd already given the spotlight at the Plano chapter and Fort Worth chapter, but I had not gotten to speak other than that. Well, I went to Virginia Beach. I remember standing up there in front of about 20 people, and I was kind of nervous. Oh, actually, I was really nervous. And then I just remember going, okay, here it goes. And like you, Tonya, you said you're shaking, your voice trembles. Well, kind of went through the first part of my set, and then I got to, I'm going to give you 3 tips. And do you know what the audience did? They positioned themselves in their chair, they got their paper ready, and they picked up a pen. And they wrote down what I said. I went, wow, I can give value.
Isn't that fun? I remember the first time that I was like, okay, I'm going to do this pitch from stage. I'm going to sell from stage at the back of the room. And I was so nervous about it because I hadn't done that before. I did a lot of speaking before that, just kind of training and, come and talk to me kind of thing. And I did my pitch, and people jumped up and they started running back to my husband, who suddenly was like, oh my gosh. And both of us were like, run, people, run. And they were running back and signing up forms. I'm like, this is so awesome.
It is. It is incredibly awesome. What a great feeling. And I had that happen the second night. I went on to DC to speak at the chapter there. And would you know it, before I even finished my offer, the gentleman said, how much? I said, this much. I said, $45. And he dug in his pocket. He pulled out $50. I said, here, and keep the change. And then my speech wasn't even over. It's like, wow. So yeah, you can really get addicted to public speaking. That's true.
And I think it's a confidence builder, right? Because a lot of it is, well, who's going to want to hear me speak?
Yeah.
Who's going to, don't they already know this stuff already?
Exactly.
And they don't. They really need that expertise,
And that's so true, and that's where I struggled when I first met you. I was a graphic designer. Who would want to hear about graphic design? I really don't want to teach people Photoshop, But then through encouragement from you and other speakers and the PSA, I was able to funnel the experiences that I've had, the work experiences that I've had, and the client experiences that I've had outside of how I've provided graphic design, and it's turned into this wonderful, wonderful being of a speaker identity, developing a speaker's identity and defining their unique value statement. And that's what I've been teaching over the last, year and a half now consistently. It's more than just branding. It's promoting yourself as a speaker and making sure you have the materials, you have the tools to promote yourself as a speaker, so that the meeting planners and the audience knows the value that you're bringing. And the word value, because again, when we first met, I didn't know what my value was as a speaker. I had no clue.
Right.
Now I do, and I want others to know that they have value. And what's it mean? Because I'm going to show them what it is.
Well, and I think, when I first started speaking, I'm like, well, I don't look like that Barbie doll, I don't have these perfect teeth and this little nose and this pretty, hair. And I'm like, I can't be a speaker, I'm not a size 0. But that was okay because I'm more relatable than that Barbie doll on stage, right?
Absolutely. And I want to touch on that real quickly. I'm a large woman. I've been this way for quite a while. So it's no surprise when someone looks at me and says, oh, but, and they don't. Here's what I've learned. I've had friends who want to be speakers, but said, I need to lose 60 pounds first. I need to lose 40 pounds first. They're waiting, and they shouldn't, because number one, people are going to judge you anyway on something. So I know that I have some weight on me, and that's what they're going to judge me on, and if they can't get past that, that's okay. Fortunately, I have not encountered that in my speaking. I've been embraced with open arms, with kindness and support and genuine, and it's just amazing. And so for that speaker out there, or that wannabe speaker out there, if you're letting weight or the color of your hair or skin stop you, then stop it.
Yeah.
Get on the stage. Don't wait. You have a message and people need to hear it.
Isn't that amazing? Because I meet all kinds of people, obviously, and it's a star value that's inside of you. It has really nothing to do with, and this is what people are like, oh, well, I just had salad, oh, I might have something green in my teeth. Nobody cares.
No.
Nobody cares. They're just wanting to hear what you can help them with. They don't care
Exactly.
what you look like, if your hair's messed up, whatever. You have to, presentable, you can't come in
Sure.
stinky or something, but but you've got to come in as who you are, and the more you're who you are, the more they're going to resonate with you.
Right. And I heard you speak the other day on how there was a speaking group who asked you to speak at their conference. However, they had a requirement of women had to wear dresses. And I would have done the same thing, Tonya. Actually, I probably would have said, yes, I'll come, and then show up wearing pants. Ooh, that would have been a rebellious, and I don't know if I could be that much of a rebellion, but I might try it. But no, but you said no, because that's not who you are. You would have had to put on another persona that doesn't meet you. And would that have benefited you in any way? Probably not.
Yeah, and then you have to look at who is he attracting. If he's attracting people that expect women to only be in dresses, that's not the people I want to hang around, and that's not the people I want as clients.
Sure. Dresses are okay, just not for us.
Yeah, well, it's not that I don't have dresses, it's not that I can wear a dress. It's just the mindset of it, right?
Well, and that's not who I am. Yeah.
Well, and I think it's also branding, right? Is finding the uniqueness of your brand. Who are you? What's the color combination that resonates with you and your people, right?
Yes. I mean, I just finished working on a client's materials, and I did her speaker sheet, business cards, and bookmarks. I designed all of them, and I made sure her value statement was positioned and her brand and identity was clear and concise on her pieces. But she has this really cool apparel item that she wears, red shoes. And it's part of her logo, and she wears them consistently on the stage. She bought many pairs so that she would never run out of this one pair of red shoes. So, I mean, and it's like, we've seen other speakers. Elizabeth McCormick is one who wears her Air Force pilot suit every time she speaks. That's her identity, and no one can take that away from her. It's so unique and so different, and that's where you and I come in. And I tell you, one of these days, I'm going to make sure that speakers like me can wear jeans on stage. I'm going to start that trend.
Yeah, it's so funny to me how people will, they'll identify with someone and say, I want to be like that person. And suddenly they're dressed like that person. And I'm like, all right, it's great. That's a great role model, but who are you?
Yeah.
And what do you want to represent in yourself?
Exactly. I mean, and there is such a thing as speaker identity theft. People copy people, and you can do that all day long if you want to, but that's not you.
Right.
It would be no different than you or I showing up to that gentleman's stage wearing a dress. That's not us.
Right, exactly. And when you look at people's graphics, because you've done my speaker sheet, which is fabulous, by the way, and you've done my logos and things. What is one of those things that is just sticks out in your mind that most people have a really hard time adjusting for? Is there something that kind of pops out at you?
I think what it is we all have this shiny object syndrome, and we are bombarded with visuals daily. And I've seen it time and time again where a client will say, ooh, I like the way this looks. And then they'll post that as their Facebook banner. But then they see another look they like, and they create their business cards with that look and feel. And then their website has a different look and feel because they like the way that looks too. And they have all these mixed messages, all these mixed visuals. And really, that is a huge mistake, because that's not identifying yourself in a consistent manner. And one of the things I teach my clients is to have consistency and be clear with your messaging, and then to have the confidence to share that you're a speaker. But back to consistency on look and feel, what I recommend is, asking that client, okay, you have 4 or 5 different looks going on here. Pick the one that you love and that you will love 5 years from now.
Yes.
And that's the path we'll go down, and we'll start developing marketing materials based on that look and feel.
Perfect. Because I know a lot of times that, you get that, oh, well, I picked a color, but it looks awful on my website, so I'm going to make it a different color. Instead of starting with, okay, this is and talking to someone like you, right, that has seen all the colors, that what's out there, or they pick a very unique color that's expensive to print, right?
Yeah, we can avoid that. We can avoid the expense.
and also, on screens, when you look at a website on multiple screens, all the colors look different.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And I come from a print background. So when I worked in the corporate world, we had what's called a industry standard color book called a Pantone matching system. And we would take that book, and it's kind of like when you go to Home Depot or Lowe's and you see all the paint chips.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we would pick the color chip out of that book and take it to the press shop where they were printing our materials. And we would match up that book with the color of our logo on the press, because we were that concerned about our branding. We were that concerned in ensuring that every piece, business card, letterheads, envelopes, brochures, flyers, went out with our logo in the right blue and the right red. Now, a lot of people, especially individuals, aren't so concerned about that. And that's okay, because there is a cost associated with printing the exact colors. However, the printers that I'm using for those types of print runs, they're pretty close. They're pretty close match from piece to piece. So if we printed a brochure one day and business cards another, the color of that logo is going to match pretty closely. Again, a lot of people don't care too much about that, like I do. I really care about your branding consistency. But what we do want to do is, if we go with a color that works on a printed piece, I'm going to give you the conversion for what would go on your PowerPoints, your website, and give you those values so that you can use those. Just the other day, I had a client share with me a project she did herself, which was fabulous. I don't mind people doing their own things. But the problem is I had given her the color matches, and she decided she wanted it darker. Well, that kind of threw some things off, and it didn't match her website. So it's just a revisiting and education process.
Yes, yes. And for most people, trying to start off, because I think this is where a lot of people is it's so overwhelming, all of these different, oh my gosh, business cards, websites, print, brochures, Is there like a starting point? Do you suggest people start with a business card? I mean, is there like certain things that you like help people kind of move up a ladder?
Yes, Tonya, as a matter of fact, when I'm speaking in June at the PSA conference, I am going to share the top 3 speaker tools that you've got to have. Woo! and these are the tools, but yes, you want to start with that business card. That's your introduction, and your speaker sheet and an order form. Now, those are tools per se for a speaker, but for marketing yourself on across the board, as whatever your services or your speaking topics are or your products are, it's the business card, the website, those 2 things, and then your social media comes next, okay? So try to you can either create your website first and your business card second, but what happens there, and if I can use this as an educational moment, what happens on a website when you have a web developer design your website, they may be using a template, or they may be using graphics that are not print ready. And what that means is, if you came to me with your web graphics that the developer pulled off of a site, you know, I mean, legitimately, of course, pulled off of a site, it may not be the right size to put on a printed piece.
Yeah.
So on a website, the piece could be this big, but on a printed piece, the piece needs to be this big. And
Yeah.
trying to create banners like this back there with a piece that's this big, the quality's not there. So I usually recommend getting your business cards designed first by a graphic designer so that they can push all of the graphics to the web designer, the web developer, and they can adjust accordingly for the web. But if you had a choice, design your printed pieces first and then your electronic pieces, your digital pieces.
And when you get headshots or any photo that you take, if you're speaking and you get a shot of you, and make sure it's high res, because you can always go down, but you can't go up.
Exactly. And I think you and I had that conversation a long time ago. It's like, Tonya, I need a high res photo. And you're like, well, this is all I have. I said, no. Go back to the photographer. Go back to the photographer who took your image. They probably gave you web-sized photos, perfect for the web or electronic or email signatures. But go back to the photographer and say, I need the highest file size of my photo that you took so that I can get it printed on large scale, large format.
Exactly, because it does make a difference.
It does make a difference.
Things we all learn.
Exactly. If you show up and they had looked at a pixelated face of yours, they're going to be like, I don't think this is who we saw.
I know. I'm doing my next book. It's Own Your Fabulousness. Ooh. And so I did, the whole layout and everything, but the graphics that I did, the text was in a 72 versus a 300 DPI. Mm-hmm. So this made it very grainy, and my publisher was like, what's wrong with your text? I'm like, what do you mean? And totally forgot about the DPI issue, which is, what does DPI stand for? Do you know?
Dots per inch.
Is making it grainy versus not grainy.
Yes. 72, very grainy. 300, not so grainy.
And that's why people, you got to get used to these words that we use. When you're using web, you want to use a GIF file. It just makes it populate faster, on phones, on your website. It comes up faster is what it means, versus a JPEG or something even larger. It would take a long time to load.
Exactly. And then, there's just, for example, people will use online software like Canva, or and some people will use PowerPoint to develop their marketing materials. That's all great and good, especially if you're doing digital. But if you try to get that printed, it's not going to give you the high resolution you need.
I've had quite a few people that says that they made something in PowerPoint. I'm like, PowerPoint isn't for graphics, I mean, it kind of is, but it was the weirdest thing. I'd never heard of anybody doing that.
I know. And the same for Word. If you're developing something in Word, even if you save it to a PDF, which, an Adobe PDF file where you would typically send to a printer, that file is not going to be print ready. It's not going to have the resolution that you're looking for. It's not going to have enough information.
Yes. Yeah. Perfect. And I know you have a special offer that you're giving today. What is that?
Okay, well, the special offer is pretty simple. I would love for you to take advantage of the tips that I give on a bi-weekly basis. They're free tips. They're quick, easy. I mean, you can read them in less than 5 minutes, less than 3 minutes, because they're that short and simple. I want you to be successful in your speaking career. I want you to learn these tips and project on stage and understand the use of equipment, different tools. And I want you to generate leads and revenue, and all of that information is in a bi-weekly email. And you can sign up by going to backoftheroomproductions.com/email. backoftheroomproductions.com/email.
Awesome.
And it's that simple.
Nice. All right. So everyone jump on that. Do it right. Well, right after you finish watching this. And of course, you won't want to miss Alicia. She's going to be one of our fabulous stage speakers at our conference, June 14th through the 17th, for the Public Speakers Conference. So to find out about her speaking topics and all the other trainings that you're going to get there, go to Public Speakers with an S conference.com, and then you can find out all the information. Plus, put in a coupon code for $100 off your attendee. So attendance form. So when you fill that out in the coupon code, put Tonya's TV show and then take $100 off that right away. Plus, we still have VIP tickets available, and you get it for free right now. So until we fill it up, we got 100 people that we can squeeze in there. We have a blast at the VIP event. Alicia was there last year. Did you have a good time?
It was so much fun, Tonya. I can't tell you how much I learned and then connected with some amazing people from Canada, from Pennsylvania, from New York, everywhere. It was amazing.
Oh my gosh, I had so much fun. So come out, have margaritas with us, some food. We have a hilarious time because you put all those AAA personalities all in one room. I mean, speakers are like personality overloads, and we just have a blast.
Yeah, we do.
You won't want to miss it. Please make sure you go, because we really do want to bring value to you and help you move fast and help you move forward in the direction that you're wanting to go. So again, publicspeakersconference.com. Check it out. Sign up. If you have any questions, there's a form on there you can fill out, and we'll definitely get you answered. So thank you, Alicia, for coming on. I want you to come back on really soon.
Yes, thank you, Tonya. You're such a gracious host, and you're just a generous soul, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you. You're a great friend. All right, everyone. Follow Alicia. Find out where she is. Follow her everywhere on social media and everything, and myself too. So we'll see you soon and see you back soon. Bye. Bye.